Hello guys, back again. This time around I want to talk about Time Crisis. Now, Time Crisis is one of my favorite light gun shooting games of all time. Back on the PlayStation 1 with the Gun Con, me and my wife used to play Time Crisis, especially Time Crisis 2 a lot. Absolutely love that game. Uh, and there hasn't been a Time Crisis in the arcade since Time Crisis 4 in 2006. Now, obviously, you've had Time Crisis 4 came to the PS3. You also had Time Crisis Raging Storm. Uh, but in the arcades, it's been a while since there's been one. And so, kind of shocking to everybody that basically Bandai Namco announced this weekend in Japan that Time Crisis 5 will be hitting arcades in Japan next year. Now, it's rather simple. If you've never played Time Crisis, it basically is a light conditioning formula that mixes, of course, adds the left and right foot pedals, uh, you know, controller, moving in and out of cover. Of course, use a light gun, to shoot, to reload, that kind of stuff. Anyway, now the thing about this thing is the details of this cabinet is Time Crisis will have a massive arcade cabinet according to what's been reported by Impress Game Watch. They're stating that this is going to have a pair of 55-inch monitors, a gun controller that lets the player cycle through weapons. So those are two pretty big, monitors. Uh, and of course, it also supports Bandai Namco's Banner Passport, basically for anybody who wants to save their progress. Uh, Something that's not really done too much here, more done over there because obviously arcades are still alive over there. We're over here. They're kind of more resonant to like, oh look, here's kid things, or some places still have them. But anyway, so the funny thing about this poster is the poster is basically just showing a bunch of shoulder guys, the guy dressed up, blinder guy dressed up in like basically beach or surfer kind of thing, shooting at him, and with Time Crisis 5 on the bottom. Again, it's cool that Time Crisis come back to arcades. I love Time Crisis. I'm curious if we'll get it over here. 4 did come out over here. I definitely know that because when we went to Kansas City this summer for vacation, at the park there, the water park there, they had, ironically enough, Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3, and Time Crisis 4 there. So I did get to play that. Had a lot of fun with it. So there's going to be another Time Crisis game. I don't know. It probably won't come out over here, I imagine. I mean, just with how arcades are pretty much not as lively, you're not. I mean, truthfully, when it comes to arcade sales over here, because there's not that many arcades left, unless they did some kind of limited quantity, it's probably not going to happen. But then again, that's how pinball machines have survived, is doing limited quantity. So there's a chance that could happen over here. I mean, but basically, since Super Street Fighter 4, that's the last, isn't that the last major arcade game we really had released over here? And but it's cool. I'd love to play this game. And again, because the other games have been brought to home console, we're obviously eventually this game will be brought to console, and hopefully it's brought out over here to play it. This does hit arcades in Japan in March of 2015, so it's just kind of like right around the corner over there. So, are you excited for a new Time Crisis game? I mean, I love the game, so I'm excited for it. I always love light gun shooters. Time Crisis and Virtual Cop always kind of hold a special place in my heart because I've played those games a lot, like in the arcade, and I always like to see, I mean, I do think there's a place for games like this. I think it's just a shame that when you talk the arcades here, that people more talk about, hey, I need a new game for my system than hey, to go to the local arcade and play it. The last time, honestly, in my personal life, I ever heard of a game talked about was actually Tekken 4 was just being released, and I heard people at actually the job I was working talk about it and went to go play it. That was a lot for last time I heard anybody talk about an arcade game over here that they had to go play it. Anyway, what do you think about this? Are you excited for it? Or are you the kind of person saying, hey, that's cool, I'm just going to get another home console version coming out? Love to hear your guys' thoughts like always. Thanks for liking, favorite, subscribing. I do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys for another video soon.